Hello there. It's another great day for another fantastic recipe from the kitchen of South Alabama Cooking. I have something today that I want to show you. We are in the middle of, or in the beginning of strawberry season. So the strawberries are getting ripe, and I've already showed you how to make a fresh strawberry pie. And today I'm going to show you how to make strawberry jam. So let's turn around here to the sink. You're going to need to wash your strawberries first. I've got this bowl of strawberries right here. So just take your strawberry, pull the little green top off of it, wash them, wash all your strawberries real good. Okay, so my bowl of strawberries is washed. Now let's turn around here to the counter. The next thing we want to do is clean these strawberries. We want to cut the tops off where the stem was at. If there are any bad places on the strawberries, we want to cut them off. If there are any green parts on the strawberries, see, like this right here, you want to cut that off, okay? So that is our next step in prepping our strawberries. This has got just a little piece right here. I'm going to cut that off. And that will get our strawberries prepped. So once I get this done, then it will be time to chop them up and mash them up and go on into making our jam. All right, I want to show you here that I've got the strawberries all cut up, except for two right there, and I'm going to show you how to cut them up. If it's just a little small strawberry like this, I just slice it almost in half, and then I cut it crosswise, like that. Now here's a bigger strawberry. If it's a bigger strawberry like this, I cut it in quarters. And I cut it just almost completely through, but not totally through, because then it'll just all fall apart. And then I cut it crosswise. And that's the way that I have cut all of my strawberries up. Okay, that's got our strawberries cut up. Now, the next thing we want to do is take a potato masher. There may be another name for this, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'm going to take this and I'm going to start mashing them up. We need to mash them up good. And once we get them mashed up good, then we're going to be ready to put the strawberries and the surejell and the sugar in a pot and cook it. All right, now we're going into the cooking phase of making the strawberry jam. So let's turn around here to the stove. Here's my big pot. I have my mashed strawberries in the pot, and that is 5 cups of strawberries. We want to turn this on to just almost high, and we're going to start this cooking. Now I'm going to use, in this recipe, I'm going to use surejell. You don't have to use surejell. You can just make it with sugar and fruit if you want to. And I have done it that way before, and it's good that way. But I do prefer using the surejell because it gives it a texture that I like, and it's quicker to do with it, to cook it with this surejell. If you don't use the surejell, you're going to have to cook it probably for a couple of hours to get it cooked down thick into a consistency that is jam-like. So I would prefer to use the surejell. Now, we had a hard time finding surejell back here in the summer because of coronavirus, COVID-19. In the year 2020, the summer of 2020, you could not hardly find surejell. You could not hardly find canning jars. It was just really difficult to find. But I found some at a little Dollar General over close to Dauphin Island, Alabama, and I was able to get me a good many packs of it. And so I bought them, and I've just held on to them because I knew I was going to need them in this coming year to make my different jams and jellies. Okay, so we've got our fruit. Now here's the little package of surejell. We want to stir this into the fruit right now. So I'm just going to pour this in here. It's just a white powder. Let me just lift this up where you can see it. See, it's just a white powder. Just going to stir that into the fruit. And I'll show you what else that I've got going on over here. Now we want this fruit and surejell to cook until it starts boiling. When it starts boiling, we're going to add our sugar. And the measurements is we need 7 cups of sugar for 5 cups of strawberries, mashed strawberries, and 1 package of surejell. So this is going to come to a boil. We'll add our sugar. It's starting to kind of bubble a little bit right now. We'll add our sugar, and once we add our sugar, then we have to let it come back to a boil. Boil it for 1 minute, and then it'll be ready to go in our jars. All right, back here on the back burner, right back here, I have that pot has hot water in it, and it has a trivet in the bottom. Let me show that to you. If I can get it up out of here. Okay. I set this trivet down in the bottom so that when you set the jars down in there, the jars will not be sitting on the bottom of the pot, and that heat will not be able to just come in direct contact with the bottom of the jars and possibly bust the jars. So that's the reason the trivet's in there. Now, I had put my jars in here. I left one in here so you could see me get it out. I put my jars in that hot water and let them boil to sterilize the jars. I'm getting the last one out and just setting it over here on my counter. I've got them turned upside down right here, and we are waiting for the jam to get ready, and we will fill them jars with jam. And so here's a jar. I'm just showing it to you. This is a little half-pint jar. This is what I'm using. It's got a ring, and then it's got a lid like that. You want to sterilize your jars in the hot water. You want to sterilize your lids in hot water. Let me show you right here. I've got my lids right here in hot water, and they're sterilized. Okay, this is boiling, so we're going to need to add the 7 cups of sugar. Let me look at it and make sure. Okay, maybe we'll wait another minute or 2. Okay, I stirred it and it stopped boiling, so we'll let it boil some more. Let it come back to a boil. Now today is Good Friday, and this is the day that we commemorate, we remember the crucifixion and the price that Jesus paid for us so that we could be saved, so that we could have salvation. And I'm just so thankful for God's gift to us, that he sent his son, and Jesus was willing to come. He loved us enough to come and shed his blood to wash our sins away. And so I am so thankful for that. And I like to, on Good Friday, I like to really think about and remember and be thankful to the Lord. Let him know that I appreciate what he done for us. All right, let's look back here. I think we are almost ready. So Sunday will be Easter, and we will be celebrating Jesus' resurrection. And the resurrection has never been able to be disproven. The grave is empty. No one's ever been able to produce his body. And we know that it is a reality that Jesus arose from the dead. So our God is not dead. He's alive. All right, good. It's boiling. Let's go ahead and put in our 7 cups of sugar right here. Got it measured out. I'm just going to pour it over in here. And then we're going to stir that sugar in. I need to get that stirred in real good and let it start dissolving. This is going to be so good. I'm going to have to make some homemade buttermilk biscuits and put some of the strawberry jam on it. We've got some family that's going to come down to see us here in just a few weeks at the end of April. And they're from Oklahoma. And they don't know a whole lot about grits. And so I'm going to make them some cheese grits while they're down. Okay, I've kind of got that stirred in. We'll make them some cheese grits while they're down. They don't know anything about Kanaka sausage. I'm going to cook them some Kanaka sausage. We're going to cook them some good Southern food. I'm going to probably make some seafood gumbo for them too while they're down. All right, we're going to wait on this to come back to a boil. Let me turn this around where you can see what I'm doing. I'm just stirring it. There's a little bit of sugar up here on the handle, trying to get that off of there. Okay. Oh, this looks beautiful. Let me hold this camera where you can see this. It looks beautiful. Such a beautiful red color. I've been camping here for the last 2 weeks. I love to camp and fish and canoe and swim and throw my cast net out on the bay, on the Mobile Bay. Of course, it's too cold to swim right now, but the nights are still cool enough. And then the daytime is nice and warm. We're up in the 70s, sometimes almost to 80. And so it is perfect camping weather. So I've been doing some camping. I've really been enjoying that. I went over to Daphne, Alabama. I've been doing some camping over there with Karma. She goes to work every day. And while she's at work, I just fish, you know, and just have fun. That's one of the perks of being retired. Okay, let's take a look here. I'm retired. My kids are grown. My husband passed away several years back, so it's at a time in my life to where I can just kind of do the things that I want to do. You know, I can enjoy some of my hobbies. When I have Carla, she'll go along with me, and she'll do it with me, you know. Okay, let's Look back around here. Looks like it's about to try to boil. Come on, we waiting on you. Let's get with it here. Starting to boil, finally. Finally starting to boil. As soon as it starts boiling real good, I'll set my timer. And we will let it boil for 1 minute. And I think I better go ahead and set my timer. It's starting to boil. See there? Let me set my timer for 1 minute. Okay, took me a minute to figure out that timer. Wow, look at it now, it's really boiling. Okay, I may have to take it off of here before the timer goes off because it took me a few seconds to figure out how to get that thing set up. Ooh, yeah. Get a pot holder so that I can scoop this right off of the stove. Let me scoot everything around just like I need it. Have everything ready to go. I'm going to have to work quick here and get it all together as soon as it's done. Okay, we're going to take it off. Set it right there. There's our timer. All right, here we go. Let me get this video camera set up where you can kind of see what we're doing here. All right. Here's all of my sterilized jars. Let me dip out some of my lids right over here. Let's turn this fire off too. It's burning me up. All right, we're fixing to start putting it in. Come on, come on, come on. One more lid. Just come on out of there. Nope, 2 more lids. Come on out of there. There we go. Fixing to start putting this stuff in the jars. I'm just breaking my lids apart here. They're trying to stick to each other. Here they are. They're right here on this towel. You can't really see where they're at. Okay, but I got them right here. All right, now we need to kind of skim some of this foam off of the top of here. before we start jarring it up. So let me skim some of this foam off. I'm not totally sure why they suggest to skim the foam off, but I think it's because that if you leave the foam, if you jar up the foam with the jelly, that foam can, it can, trying to think what you call it. Anyway, it can make your jelly go bad, kind of. So, kind of want to skim off as much of the foam as you can. Okay, I'm just going to tilt my pot a little bit. It'll make kind of like, the foam will kind of make mold on the top of your jelly in your jars. So you need to skim off as much of the foam as you can. Hear Carla moving around.
Whatever you're making, it smells delicious.
Thank you. I told the subscribers I'm going to have to make some homemade biscuits, and we're going to have to try out this strawberry jam with homemade biscuits. Okay. See, here's the foam. We've got the foam off of there. Excuse me, everybody. Okay, we're ready to jar this up. Oh, I've got to show you this cute little thing. Look at this metal funnel. This is an antique metal funnel, and this was my Granny Cochran's funnel. And after Daddy and Mama died, I was looking through a cedar chest, and I found this. And this belonged to my Granny. So I am really happy to have it and to use it. The ones that you buy today, they're going to be plastic. They're not going to be metal. All right, here we go. Let's start filling these jars up. Let's see, I got to get a measuring cup out of here.
And what size jars are those?
These are half pint.
Half pint.
Which is, what, 8 ounces, I believe? Or, yeah.
That sounds about right.
Okay. Now you want to fill these jars up. Just leave just a little bit of space at the top. I didn't hardly leave no space at the top of that one. I may have to dip a little bit out. Carla, you think you could get me a little spoon where I can dip some of that out?
Sure can. This look like what you want?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Okay, can you see? Yeah, y'all can see me. Okay, good. I'll just dip some of this out and put it over in here.
Why do you want to leave some space?
Because that's what the directions said. And that's all I know. I'm sure it must have something to do with the seal, but, you know, I don't know exactly what.
Yeah, I figure it does have to do with the seal and the air pocket, and then also it's just, you know, if it like if it expands or contracts any, you would want to have some room.
Yeah, maybe so it wouldn't explode.
You'll have to put your science mind towards that one.
Carla asks questions about things that I never even think about, you know, and so she's got a curious mind, I guess. Some, you know, I'll just say, oh, okay, you know, because that's the way it's supposed to be. But Carla, she wants to know the why of it all. And that's good. I've just never thought about that kind of stuff sometimes.
Well, and some things you've been doing since you were a kid, and maybe it's not appropriate. Some parents don't allow their kids to ask the whys.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because I said so. But I always wanted to know the why. Not that I always ask it when it was my parents. That looks really delicious.
Doesn't it? Wow. This is some beautiful jam. Okay, I have only got one more jar. Sterilized jar. So the rest of this I'll have to just put in something and put in the refrigerator. It's not going to be that much left. Just a little bit.
You mean we might have to eat some of it?
Yeah, like with biscuits tomorrow.
Ah.
Okay, so yeah, there is just a little bit left in there. And we will, you know what, I'll put that in that measuring cup and we'll stick that in the refrigerator. But I need to go ahead. It needs to be washed, but yeah, okay, that would work. Okay, now let's wipe these lids or the rims here, the rims of the jar, just in case there's any jelly there. Because Carla, because I do know the reason for this. Okay.
Okay.
Because if there's any jam like on the top of this rim here, it can possibly cause this lid not to seal. So
okay,
you have
that
to
makes
make sure
sense.
you've got a clean, dry rim.
The sugar would be like kind of gritty and probably break the seal, keep it from sealing well. And I can't wait. Later in the summer, we'll have our own fresh strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
I checked, and the cool weather last night did not do them any harm.
Okay. She's talking about, y'all, if y'all want to see what she's talking about, we have another YouTube channel called South Alabama Gals. And on that, we have a lot of different things. Some do-it-yourself stuff, some lady mechanics. But what she's talking about is we planted some strawberry plants in the back of my daddy's old antique Chevrolet truck. Old green Chevrolet truck. And we've got those strawberries growing back there. So that's what she's referring to.
There's a good 6 or 8 on there already.
Okay. All right, let's turn back around here where you can see what I'm doing. I'm just doing the same process over and over until I get all of the jars, get all the lids on. And then once we get the lids on, we're going to give these a water bath. Not because they're dirty. They don't need a bath because they're dirty, but that is to help them seal and preserve the jam.
Now, if it was because it was dirty, we could just give them a shower in the sink.
Now, my granny, she was a jelly maker. Mama wasn't. Mama wasn't a jelly maker, but Granny Cochran, and her name was Queen Martha Stewart Cochran, and she was a jelly maker, and she had a little wild grapevine that grew on her fence, and every year she would pick those grapes when they got ripe, and she would make wild grape jelly with those. And she knew that I loved that wild grape jelly. Oh, y'all can't see what I'm doing, I don't think. Yeah, you can. Okay. She knew that I loved that wild grape jelly, and so whenever she made some, she would let me know and she'd give me some. So I guess I got my jelly making from my granny. All right, where is that towel? I need that towel.
Here's
All
that
right.
towel.
Now what we want to do is we want to tighten these lids down here on these jars. And I just take kind of a damp towel. 2 reasons. One is because this jar is hot, so I can't hold it with just my bare hands. And the second reason is with this towel being a little damp, it will hold on to this jar and I can tighten this lid up. So that is the reason. And as I tighten the lids, I'm going to drop them down over here, back in this water. Let me turn this back on, and we're going to give them a water bath. So we're going to process them for about 10 minutes in that water bath. I'll just show you what I'm doing. I'm just going to put them right down in here.
Is it hot water or cold water?
It's hot water. That is actually the water that I sterilized the jars in. And I just left that water in there so that I can just drop these jars back down in there once they have jam in them. And we will process them. We'll give them a water bath. I'm going to have to move that trivet around just a little bit. Okay.
And now, is that scalding water? Is that like really hot?
Well, it was boiling at one time. I don't really know.
Okay, still on pretty high. Well, your fingers are going in it, so I was just wondering if they were burning the little ends of your fingers off.
I have a holder here. Y'all want to see my holder? Okay. Turn around here. Here's my holder. See. You catch it like that.
See, I thought the other one was the handle.
Oh, you're right. Oh, sorry. See, Carla knows more about this than I do. Okay, here we go. See, that's the holder.
Okay, don't drop it.
I'm sure there's
it's
another.
Pretty red.
I'm sure there's another name for this besides holder, but I can't think of it right now.
Grabber, maybe. Can grabber.
Okay, we're ready to put these others in there. So let's use the little jar holder and let's use the right end, the one end that you're supposed to use, and let's finish dropping these down in here. Of course, we're setting them down in here gently. And we're going to end up with 9 half pints of strawberry jam. And I'm going to have to make some more because we'll be giving some of this away probably like for Christmas gifts and stuff like that. And, you know, this may be enough to give away, but I want to have enough to eat. I want to have some here at the house. Okay, let me see if I can fit this one more down in here. Kind of a tight squeeze. You know what? I don't think I can get this other one down in here. Okay, so we've got 8 down in there. All right, we're going to process them for 10 minutes. All right, our water bath has been going for 10 minutes, and it's time to get the jars out. So we're just going to lift them out one at a time. Set them over here on this towel. Right here. I'm just going to line them up. Just taking them out, lining them all up right over here. I'm not going to try to turn the camera back and forth and back and forth. I'm just showing you what I'm doing here. And I'll just continue to do that until I get all the jars out. We have dewberries blooming right now, which dewberries are the first blackberries to get ripe. They're blooming right now. And I always look for the dewberry blooms so that I'll know where I can go berry picking at. So I'm kind of scoping things out, finding out where those dewberries are at. And then at the end of April, they'll be ripe, and I'll pick the dewberries. And then we have a second crop of blackberries, just the regular blackberries. They are ripe in June. And in our back field, we have several huge blackberry patches, and that's where I pick my blackberries. And so I'll be making blackberry jam with all of that. Okay, here we go. Here's our jars. They're lined up right there. And that, my friends, is how you make strawberry jam. All right. I'm so glad y'all come by for a visit. And y'all come back real soon. Don't wait so long. Okay?